So Ashley, you got to tell us, what was it like the first time you met George Lucas?
Oh my gosh. You know, I've had the privilege of meeting him, definitely a handful of times over the course of the years because what most people don't realize is he was very hands-on with Clone
Hmm.
Wars. I mean, it really was,
You could
you
feel it.
know,
You could feel it.
yeah, yeah. I mean, it was like his baby, just as much as it was Dave Filoni's baby as well. It was George Lucas's baby. He was very, very hands-on. But we recorded our episodes in Los Angeles, and obviously George Lucas worked in San Francisco. So we usually only got to see him when we went up to San Francisco for press events or or whatnot. We would go up there for press junkets or any sort of event. So the first time I got to meet him was actually in 2007, and that was actually when my husband signed the NDA because
Yeah.
I got to go to Skywalker Ranch for the first time,
How cool is it there?
and oh, Skywalker Ranch is my happy
Yeah.
place. It is like I'm a massive Disney fan,
Mhm.
but if there's one place that like even tops Disney World, it's Skywalker Ranch.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like it is, it is literally one of the most magical places on earth. It's incredible. So we went for the first time in 2007, and they literally met us at the door, and they met my husband with an NDA.
Uh-huh.
Like he couldn't even walk through the doors of the house without signing the NDA, which I was happy with because that meant finally I could tell him what I was
Yeah.
doing. Um, so they gave us a tour of Skywalker Ranch, and then it all kind of ended and culminated by going up to George Lucas's office, and he couldn't have been nicer. I mean, he's exactly what you think he is. Like he comes across exactly like he comes across in interviews, just very humble, very just love Star Wars. And it was so funny though, because my husband used to play baseball,
Yeah.
Hmm.
and he had just won the World Series
Oh, wow.
and World Series MVP.
Yeah.
Like literally, it was
Oh
like,
my God. What team? I'm sorry.
oh, that's okay. He played for the St. Louis Cardinals,
Oh,
so
okay.
they
David Eckstein?
yes.
Oh, wow. Okay. I never connected those two things together.
Oh,
Okay.
good. So good. He's also a huge Miami Dolphins fan, so I
Oh,
like that.
is he really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah.
Revolutions afoot.
I know.
David, oh, wow. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, so yeah, so this was literally like a month after the World Series. And so several people on the crew had brought in baseballs and they were wanting him to sign baseballs. And they brought a baseball, somebody on the crew brought a baseball for George Lucas because they didn't know if he was a baseball fan. So we brought it up to his office and they said, George, this is David Eckstein. Would you like him to sign a baseball? And he was like, nah, I'm not really a baseball fan. He's like, but I really like your wife's performance.
So he didn't even really.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
he's just like, oh, whatever. He seems like a really
we,
humble
Yeah.
we
guy. I can't even imagine what it's like to meet him. Just so into his own work and very down to earth. It seems, at least in interviews. And it's nice to hear that he's like that in person too.
He very much is. And in fairness, he did take the baseball for his daughter. He was like, look, he's like, my daughter may be into baseball. So he did take it. But I do have I will share a George Lucas story because,
oh,
you
please.
know, he he is everything I experienced. He is exactly what you want him to be. He's so kind, so humble, just loves what he's doing so much, and he cares about people so much. And so I kind of have my own little ode to George Lucas that I'm trying to like continue to carry the torch in my own little way. But when obviously back when Clone Wars was on the air, whenever we would have a premiere or a press event, he would always try to tie it to a charity. So whether it was like the Boys and Girls Club or Make a Wish Foundation, one time we had a season premiere and they invited, instead of the fans, they invited the Boys and Girls Club. So it was a theater full of kids. And I remember asking, I was like, I'm just curious, like, why does he do that? And, the answer they gave me was, well, George feels that if we're going to put a lot of time and energy and resources into these events, we should do good with it. And I was always so inspired by that.